Today we are diving deep into one of the most wild, most intricate business plans I have ever seen. Seriously, it's a strategy to hit $1 billion in revenue by March 2026, and the whole thing is built around a cryptic command, one that comes from ancient Japanese warfare.
So let's get right into it. It all kicks off with this single, powerful instruction from a mentor they just call the master. And right away, you can tell this isn't just some vague goal. It's a command to use a very, very specific and pretty unusual strategy. And that immediately raises the question, right? A one-night castle, what in the world is that? It sounds like something straight out of a samurai movie. So how could a centuries-old military tactic possibly be the key to $1 billion business in this day and age? To really understand this plan, we have to start right there. We've got to decode this core concept. It is the absolute foundation for everything else that's about to happen.
Okay, so here's the most important part. This isn't really about speed. You see, historically, the castle wasn't actually built in one night. All the materials were prepped in secret, hidden away, and then bam, assembled super fast to create this shocking reveal. The business equivalent? You do all the hard work behind the scenes, then you launch with such overwhelming proof of success that it looks like it happened overnight. The goal is to create an unshakable fortress of trust. So, we have the historical idea. Now let's see how this crazy concept actually gets turned into $1 billion blueprint. This is where it gets really interesting, where the metaphor becomes a real financial model. The entire, massive $1 billion plan hinges on achieving just 1% of the total sales goal. Think about that. It seems so small, almost nothing. But that 1%? It is the single most important domino that has to fall. Because, and this is the absolute genius of the strategy, it's designed so that once that tiny 1% beachhead is secured, major financial institutions, we're talking banks, insurance companies, are set up to automatically deliver the other 99%.
And here's the engine of the plan in action. You see? Step 1 is all about the human effort, getting those first 1,600 sales to build that small, visible fortress of trust. That fortress then becomes the trigger. It proves the model works, that it's low risk, and that unlocks the massive power of the big institutions in step 3. A small, proven miracle that unleashes a systemic victory. So, the billion-dollar question, right? How in the world do you secure that critical first 1%? Well, the plan lays out a coordinated 3-front campaign to make it happen, all at the same time.
And what's so interesting here is how they frame these campaigns in military terms. You've got an offensive push for new customers, a defensive play for old ones, and a systemic siege targeting entire corporations. Each one has a very distinct role to play in building that fortress.
The first front, boot camp, is just a high-intensity sprint. It's a pure numbers game, designed to create that initial blast of momentum. 20 elite salespeople, hitting the phones, aiming to close 700 deals in just 1 week. It's all about brute force and proving there's real demand.
Now the second front, totally different. This one is pure psychology. The team targets 800 former customers with a message that's kind of playful but also kind of serious. It taps right into loss aversion, that fear of missing out on money. But it also reignites a sense of community, inviting them back into the fold. But this third front, wow. This might be the most clever part of the entire plan. It targets corporations by reframing their AI product as a corporate love bonus. So instead of giving employees a cash bonus that gets taxed, the company can buy a bulk license for this AI product that helps their kids. For the company, it's a fully tax-deductible expense. It turns an emotional benefit into a brilliant financial move.
But look, this 3-pronged attack, no matter how brilliant it is, would probably fail if the product itself wasn't compelling. The whole plan gets supercharged by an offer that's designed to be completely and utterly irresistible. And this is the secret weapon. The product is positioned as a tax-deductible investment. It launches in December, which is exactly when companies in Vietnam are looking for year-end expenses to lower their tax bill. And then the killer feature, the final knockout punch, a 100% bank-guaranteed refund if the client's profit targets aren't met. It just systematically removes every single reason to say no.
And when you actually put it side by side with a normal bonus, the value proposition is just crystal clear. The corporate love bonus is presented as financially smarter, completely risk-free, and a more meaningful way to reward your team. It's not just a product, it's a better financial instrument.
All right, let's move to the climax of the strategy. Let's see how all these pieces, the campaigns, the offer, the psychology, are all engineered to come together on one single fateful day.
The timeline here is just incredibly tight. The first campaigns run from late November to December 1st, but the real deadline, the day the castle has to appear, is December 10th. If they can hit their 1,600 deposits by then, the plan says they can get the other 99% just 9 days later.
But why December 10th? I mean, in a plan this meticulous, you just know that date wasn't picked out of a hat, right? There's a deeper, much more personal layer to this whole grand strategy.
And this is where the cold logic and the powerful narrative just fuse together perfectly. December 10th is the birthday of the plan's architect. By tying the mission's success to his own birthday, he turns a simple business deadline into a day of destiny. He injects the entire project with this incredible personal meaning and urgency.
But then, in a final, absolutely masterful stroke, he deflects that personal significance. He reframes the entire day not as a celebration of himself, but as the birth of a brand new economic model, a trust economy, where belief, backed by solid guarantees, becomes the main engine for growth.
And that's really the question this incredible strategy leaves you with, isn't it? By weaving together financial engineering, psychological warfare, military tactics, and this deeply personal story, the One Night Castle plan goes way beyond a simple spreadsheet. It becomes a mission, and something truly fascinating to break down.